Hello, everyone. This is Dave from Out of This World Home Services. I have a bit of a bright screen behind me, so hopefully you'll be able to see anything I draw today. Thank you for joining us for this live Q&A. And Wendy's here with me. She's going to be asking me a couple of questions that a few of our clients and patrons like yourself have called in with. And I will then answer those for you in a nice, short, concise way. So with that, first question, please, Wendy.
All right. I noticed a ceiling leak in my dining room. What should I do?
Okay, a ceiling leak in the dining room. Well, in lots of cases, I'll make the assumption on this that the leak itself hasn't been seen. And so if you have a leak, unless it's really obvious where it's coming from, and what I mean by that is if you can walk upstairs and say, okay, I can see this is the bathroom, and directly above, we've had a shower, the kids have been in the shower, say, and there's water still on the floor. Well, it would suggest that potentially the water's come from that source and it's a one-time issue. If you can't see anything obvious like that, the best thing you need to do is call your preferred plumber to basically get them. Apologies for my phone ringing, part of being live. And once you call them, you'll be able to describe what's going on. The very next thing, or actually perhaps even prior to that, I'd suggest going to shut your water off if this is something that's actively getting worse and worse. If it's just a stain, it's a little bit different. But if you're actively seeking water dripping out, go and shut your water off first, so you should know where your main valve is. And if you don't, I highly suggest you go and find out straight away. Once you call in your professional, they'll be able to open up the ceiling or have a look around and determine as to what's probably going on. If it is something that's in the ceiling space or a wall space or something like that, they'll be able to open out, access what they need, and then make the repairs. And that's pretty much what to do in that situation. Next question, Wendy.
All right. I was told I have to have a mixing valve on my hot water tank. Why? And do I have a choice?
Okay, mixing valves on hot water tanks. This can be a little bit of a gray area, and it comes down to license responsibilities for whoever's part of the conversation. So from a plumber's perspective, where we are responsible and licensed for you as the homeowner, your safety and prevention from scalding. Part of our codes specifically say that we have to prevent a temperature coming out from any fixture and have it reduced below 49 degrees Celsius, or what was it, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 90 something. I've forgotten the Fahrenheit, but it's 49 degrees Celsius. And so for that, we can have no mixing valve on a hot water tank or a hot water source, and at every single device have a method in place for reducing the temperature down. So in the past, what would happen is that at your sink tap or in your shower valve itself, there'd be a way to physically adjust the temperature so that it could not be turned any hotter than this specific point. And that will work fine, but not all fixtures have that ability of having a limit stop on what the temperature is going to be. And for that, what happens is a mixing valve gets installed because this is a central location where we as plumbers can control that temperature of the water coming out to then spread to every fixture, whether it's a tap, washing machine, sink, whatever specific device you've got that would require hot water, we limit the temperature down to that spot. So when it comes into having a plumber come to your house and have to do absolutely anything with the hot water system, then it's quite common to have a mixing valve installed, because that's the way we can ensure that you are protected against scalding, which also then protects our licenses, because that's what we have to do. it becomes a gray area because you don't have to do it. So it doesn't matter how old the house is. If we come in and change your hot water tank or heat source, we have to, under our licensing, make sure that you are prevented from scalding yourself. And this could mean that if you are used to having boiling hot showers, that it won't be as hot. Now, the temperature that we have to limit to is actually still quite warm and comfortable for most people. It just might not be what you had in the past. The other reason being is that we install these devices is that the hot water itself is also governed by law, that we have to have it at a temperature high enough to kill all the bacteria that could be growing in the water source, which is a temperature that's above where we're supposed to have the temperature for scalding. So there is a reason for the protection that's in there, and that's why we have to come in. So you do have a choice that other devices could be installed around the house. The only thing with this is to ensure that every single device is covered. You'll probably end up paying a lot more than to have one source, one central location of controlling that. And that's why mixing valves are installed.
All right, thank you, Dave. And the last one is, what is venting?
Okay, venting is a part of the plumbing system found on the drainage side that allows the drains to work. And this is also governed by laws and codes and everything else. But at the end of the day, the venting is what allows drains to drain. And every trap is supposed to be vented here in Ontario. If you're from somewhere else in the world, there are different codes. So in the UK, most of their venting is done through a central stack. Now, again, that's their code, their laws. And in the US, I think they're very similar to us, but there are differences on size, length, and all that kind of stuff. But to show you, this is a demonstration one, to show you what venting does is if I take a nice bowl of water and I have a straw. This is just a standard straw, big hole in it. So I can put this in and I can do nothing with it. So I can put the straw in, and the straw essentially acts as the vent. So what I'm going to do is put my finger over the end here. Now I'm holding this straw right out, and with my finger on the top, I'm essentially suggesting that the piping is exactly the same, but not vented. So there's no vent on the pipe. As soon as I let my finger off, the water now comes out. And that's essentially what venting does, is it allows the pipes to breathe so that the water that's in the drain wanting to flow away, because you don't want it in your house, you want it to go away. The venting actually allows the pipe to breathe such that it doesn't create a vacuum and hold all that wastewater in your house. Because essentially there's two ways to get a blockage. One is to have a block in the pipe where stuff builds up, and the other one is to create a vacuum where it can't go out. And a blockage can cause both, which is where drain cleaning comes in. So that's the concept of the vent, is we allow the drains to breathe. And that answers your question. All right, so those are all the questions we've had time for, or not time for, but we've actually had in this last month. So if you have any plumbing related questions yourself or any questions related to a home, we'll do our best to answer those. And you can reach out to us at Out of This World Home Services. You can check out our website, find us online, send an email, text, whatever you want, however you can reach us. Just let us know what questions you'd like answered, and I will do my very best to answer those for you. Have yourself a great day.